We live, baby.
Hey. Hi, everybody. Welcome to the
podcast. What's up?
Socially Connected. This is Itty Bitty. Hi.
Young in the building. What's going on? CEO here.
Your
What's
boy,
up,
Elijah.
Anna, Sawedi. Oh, my God. I'm sorry.
Nah, you just interrupted me again. Come on, Anna.
When he forgets, it's ladies first. But go ahead.
Go ahead, Anna. Go ahead.
I said, what's up, everybody? This is Anna Sawedi on Twitter at La Vila Baby. What's up, everybody? Happy to be here. Thank you for joining us.
And it's your boy, Elijah. No introductions needed. Y'all know who I'm in.
Of course, that's our tech-savvy daddy. 2-word minimum with him, you know. Thank you again for tuning in. Last week was real fun. It was our first time. We kind of sort of were walking the waters. We didn't know if we were going to sink or swim, but we made it. We afloat. We're here today with you.
Yep.
Hello, everybody in the chat.
Hi, everybody in the chat. Sorry, I'm not paying attention to that right now. My bad. I've been drinking.
See, Braulio already know who I am. He knows.
Let's
dive
right on in.
He said he's the king of mountain friends.
Yup.
Y'all ready?
Yeah.
All right.
Let's get it, baby.
We're going to dive in with tonight's topic. Tonight's topic is going to be an educational point of view on my part, so I'm ready to learn. But today we want to talk about healthy relationships, from communication to finances to dating someone who has kids. If you don't have kids, how do you cope? And just overall, a healthy relationship, how to maintain it from dating to being engaged to being married. So if you have questions and you have the access to submit them, please do so. We look forward to answering your questions. If you have concerns or if you even have a comment or want to school one of us, it's an open forum for you guys to do that. So let's go ahead and get the ball rolling. Out of all 4 of us, raise your hand if you have kids.
Unfortunately.
See how I didn't raise my hand, so you know this is going to get good. Out of all 4 of us, raise your hand if you're in a relationship. Okay, that's 2 of the 4.
Yes, Adam is single.
Hey!
Yes.
No, he's my partner. He's my partner, so he's the streets. He's
We
the
also
streets.
got a
I'll have
matchmaking
it.
episode coming up with.
Oh,
We
wow.
sure do. We sure do. Cannot wait.
We about to be auctioning off Adam, y'all. So our next percent, okay?
Right.
Oh,
To the
shit.
highest.
So let's dive in. Who would like to explain how communication works in the relationship and how it could be a default in the relationship?
Honor, you're muted. You're muted, baby. Anna. There you go.
I was cussing out my kids, so I had to mute.
Oh, okay, okay.
Okay.
So you
Sorry,
should try
so-
to speak up.
So we're talking about how do I maintain a relationship?
With communication, how important is it in your relationship, and how does proper communication keep you afloat in the relationship?
Well, first of all, my husband and I are from different backgrounds. He is Jamaican, and I am Greek and Tongan. And so we, of course, have very different cultures. And so communication, we have found, has been something that struggled in the beginning, and it still does at some points. But it's extremely key to be open and communicate and decide what works best for your own relationship. I found that taking advice from other people in their relationship doesn't always help me. It might work for you, but it's not going to work for me, or vice versa. So yeah, I would definitely say that to keep our relationship healthy and afloat, communication is key. We discuss everything. We don't make any moves without the other person. Financially, when it comes to the kids, all of that.
When you guys were dating, did you have that type of communication, or was it more once you guys got engaged and got married and realized, we're both in this for the long haul?
I think that we kind of built that once we were married. We did have good communication when we were just dating, but at that point, you're just dating, right? So he has his own way of thinking, I have my own way of thinking, and when you get married, you come together and create something that works for the both of you. So I think that it built over time. I think that we both understood the commitment that we were making, but it wasn't until we were actually married and we realized, like, all right, we're in this for the long haul, that's when it gets serious. Up until that point, when you're dating somebody, that's more just getting to know that person and deciding if they're somebody you want to spend the rest of your life with. That's
Yeah.
That's what it's supposed to be for. That's what dating's supposed to be for. You know?
Supposed to be. I like how you emphasize on supposed to be.
supposed to be, right.
Right.
So can we get a male perspective, Mr. Married Man, Daddy Tech Elisha?
So I've always been the one in our relationship that had to kind of coax out the communication, and I feel like it's a thing because people date, and then when you date, society or pop culture or whatever tells us it's not okay to express your feelings. Like, if you're a guy, you got to be tough and you got to have this exterior. You can't show too much love. You can't go into all the lovey-dovey stuff, or you might end up screenshot it and blast it on Twitter, So
Right.
when I went into a relationship, thankfully, when I met my wife, I found someone that was also willing to communicate, because you can be willing to communicate the whole time. You can be ready, but if the other party is not ready, like, you're wasting your time. So one, I believe, is you got to be willing to communicate. Rule number one, both parties got to be willing to communicate. Two, you got to kind of understand your partner, because my wife, when we first met, she didn't like to show emotion, when she wanted to keep everything bottled up, or if she was feeling a certain type of way, she didn't want to express that unless she got, like, I hope she ain't watching, so she come home and slap me. But when she got, like, drunk, then, like, those feelings would kind of spill out, because those inhibitions get removed. So I had to be like, babe, like, if you feel in a certain way, you let me know. And then also I kind of had to work on it myself too, because I'm in previous relationships, I would like take so much crap and take so much crap. I'm like, I can handle this. It's okay. Or I'm used to walking on eggshells and not wanting to disturb the peace.
Wow.
You know, I'm the man. I'm supposed to be able to like handle that. You know, and then
I like this.
and then it came along where I was like, all right, my feelings are also important. Like guys, guys got to remember too. Like it's not just about pandering to the female, but also you gotta be looking out for yourself as well. Because
Absolutely.
what
I mean, 'cause how
happened?
can you have a healthy relationship
Yeah.
if you're straddling the fence? You know what I'm saying? It's just not healthy. And as a man alone, the fact that you guys get so much flack about being a man, being emotional, having feelings, actually caring, is just, it's unfair. And at this point, it really doesn't matter what your race is. You're a human being as well.
Right.
So where do we draw the line and just throw our hands up and say everyone is entitled to feel a certain type of way and everyone's entitled to express that?
Yeah.
Where are you coming from with that, Adam?
Whew. He was, man.
I got my drink, Adam. Come on, honey.
He started preaching because.
Hey, I was gonna keep going too if y'all didn't stop me.
Hey, in my previous serious relationship, I was married. I'm divorced now. But I was also the same way to where I would disregard my feelings, how I felt on certain things, and I didn't want to like fight about certain things, so I would just keep quiet. My communication was terrible because I just would never say anything. Like I wouldn't bring up any concerns I had. I wouldn't say, "Oh, that's a bad idea. We should probably do this." It was just like I'm just going with it. You know what I'm saying? Because I wasn't comfortable with my own voice at that time, and two, because I had stepped outside on our marriage too, so I felt guilty. So then it was like, okay, well, I just have to, you know what I'm saying? Just go with whatever's going to make her happy. So it was like, I just, my voice was completely lost. So then, like you said, that leads to just unhappiness because it's like, okay, now this relationship is pretty much just for you. I'm trying to make up and I'm just here. Like, I'm supposed to try to make up for what I did. I'm supposed to try to just make you happy from now on. Like, what I care about, what I want just doesn't even matter. So then at that point, it's like, okay, yeah, what am I here for?
And you begin resenting that person too. Like after a while, like the relationship's no fun anymore. It's just
right.
Absolutely.
Yep.
I'm so sorry that you had to go through that because I will punch somebody if you.
I put myself through. I take ownership for a lot of shit though, so I put myself through a lot. I put myself through a lot because that shit didn't have to go.
Silence for a man who just was man right now.
For real.
Give him this moment.
Well, you gotta grow. You gotta grow from situations that you go through. So when I'm in that position again, it's just gonna be completely different. And then it's funny because I'm glad we talked about this because I seen something that I screenshotted on Facebook the other day. It said, "Healthy relationships include uncomfortable conversations," and I think that's so important.
Yes,
because it's true.
It's true. You have to be able to discuss anything. You have to be able to say how you feel at that time, not hold your tongue and think, okay, I don't want to say it like this because it's like you got to be you. So if I can't be me, go ahead, interject.
I totally agree with. At the end of the day, whatever the relationship is, be it you and your mate or you and your friend, I absolutely agree to be able to say what it is right then and there. However, speaking for myself, I'm not speaking for anybody else, but I might be speaking to someone who's just like me. For a long time, when I was younger, I did not speak because I was in a relationship with a guy where talking about it wasn't happening. It was my first love. I gave my all to him. You know what I'm saying? So I believe everything that, the way he moved, everything that he said, everything he dictated towards me, I believe that was true. So when things weren't right, yeah, I wanted to talk about it, but the minute I bring it up, it's no such a thing. He's not answering any questions. We're not gonna have this conversation. Be happy that we're together.
Mm.
Long of the short, he cheated on me. He went in the military, got married, and had a whole baby on me.
Damn.
So yeah, that hurt. So once I found that out, the gloves came off, and I told myself I will never, ever, ever be in another relationship where I am not able to use my voice.
Yeah.
So that's
That's
why
important.
if you follow me on social media and you see posts that kind of sort of take your wig back, that's because I'm now living in the ability to say what I want.
Yep.
I have those rights, not only because I'm human, but because we have amendments. And my amendment says, guess what, Eddie? You got the right. And guess
Yep.
what? I use that right. It was very hard to be in an almost 2-year relationship, and so much was bottled up inside. Like I don't really date like that anymore because I don't know how to treat a man. So right now what I need a man who understands that and is willing to not only teach me how to be a woman in a relationship, but also teach me that it is okay to stand down, have these conversations, and not judge every man that I meet based off of a past relationship.
That's the key. That's the key.
That's
And I
big.
think we all struggle with that. I think
That's
we all
huge.
struggle. Once you've been through any kind of hurt or trauma from somebody, I think we all struggle with, all right, well, are they all like this? Are they all going to be like this?
Yeah.
You kind of start expecting it from the beginning when you start getting involved with somebody. Oh, this person
That's
might ghost
ruining
me.
it for
It's
me.
too
Or
good
this
to be
person
true
might
sometimes
this.
when you
Yeah,
really
it's
get
good
into
to
a
be-
good one.
Yeah, yes.
So
Or they
then-
exhibit some sort of like personality traits that remind you of
Ooh, yeah, or that. Yep.
and you
So then if I could
immediately-
ask y'all, can y'all give me some advice? Because baby, I'm knocking on 40. I'll be 40 in November. It's really a sad shame for me to sit here live in front of people and tell you people that I'm 40 years old, I don't have a man, and I don't have kids.
That's not sad though.
I want
Yeah,
them
that's
to-
sad.
That's extremely sad.
it just
Because-
depends
See,
on like
this is where I
what you
disagree.
want.
Or go ahead, Anna. My bad. Anna.
Oh no, I'm sorry. I was just gonna say, I mean, I guess considering it sad would be based on your outlook on what you
That's
want
true.
for your
That's
personal
true.
life goals.
That's true.
Also, I think society plays a big part in
Yes.
timelines when it comes
Yes.
to us.
Yep.
They make us feel like we have to be this and this by this age, and
Right.
after that, you're too old for it. It's
Right.
like people back in the day, women were having babies until they were 60 years old, and nobody said anything about it. And now it's like once you hit 35, you're too old to have children. Or once you're 35 and you're not married, oh, you picky. You know what I mean? It's like
right.
or something's wrong with you, you know?
Yeah, but there has to be a point where we respect people for deciding to look internally and make sure they're ready
That's
for
true.
something like that before they decide to. That's huge. Instead
That
of just
is.
saying, let me just do what everybody thinks I should do, because that always
Right,
ends up
right.
bad anyway.
Let me ask this though. Are you guys for the idea that you can be working on yourself, getting ready, and be involved with somebody? Or is it let me get all my shit done and then I'm gonna start
You
talking?
never get it all done.
No, I would.
And that's how I feel
There's
too.
no
That's how I
time
feel
frame
too.
on when you feel okay. I'm ready. So what
Right.
if that's 5 or 10 years? Now
Exactly.
you blocked your blessing.
Exactly.
You felt that in 10 years I'm gonna be perfect. But what
Right.
we all need to respect and understand,
Preach.
nobody's perfect.
Nobody's perfect.
Absolutely.
Nobody's
So are you gonna
perfect.
go that 10-year mile hoping for perfection, or are you gonna go ahead and hope to come across someone who's also walking in the same struggles as you and don't mind holding your hand while
Preach.
my
Yeah,
hands be ashy sometimes, so you're gonna need to want to hold my hand. I don't care. So let's get that
Hey,
clear.
you need to
right?
find a man that brings the cocoa butter. Then that's
or the low
Exactly.
on the baby oil, whatever it is, it's going on free. Sometimes I be down bad, but I be there. I be there.
I fully agree. I fully agree with that.
and see.
I
That's
just-
what,
Go
go
ahead.
ahead, Adam. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I just don't think like it's a set timeline you could place on yourself to say, oh, I'm gonna, like, let's say I'm in therapy. Let's say I'm gonna wait 2 years. I'm gonna do therapy. I'm gonna do this, and then I'm just ready for everything. Like
No.
you just don't know when you're completely ready, and then you don't know who the person is, how you're gonna feel, all this shit. So it's like when life be throwing you opportunities and chances and signs, you gotta pay attention. You know,
Not
and
only
you
that,
have
you
to
gotta
start
chance it.
grabbing at some of that shit. You know, you have to. And you have to chance it. Everything is a chance.
Oh yeah.
Like we be wanting the perfect situation, or we be wanting things to unfold the way we think it should, but everything you do is a chance because you don't know what tomorrow's gonna bring.
And you got to be willing to be vulnerable. That's what our generation is so afraid of. And I've
Afraid of
found
it.
they're afraid to like open themselves up to be hurt possibly.
Yes.
Like
Yep.
any relationship you go into, there's always that chance that
Yep.
it's not gonna be the one. Like that's
Yep.
that's dating.
Yeah.
But our generation, especially millennials and
Yes.
younger, like we're afraid to open up.
Yep.
And
Tap
like,
dance on that one time. Tap dance all the way around on that one time
It's
because
true.
it's just so much. And then I have to go back to what Anna said. Society plays such a big role in everything now that I believe that people just lost their way. I mean, think about it.
Yes. They're sheep.
Sometimes you got people who are not working anymore, but because of their social media, they are generating revenue. Social media is the outside world. It's still it's a social base that has an influence on your moves, and you're moving according to the beat of their drum. So I guess what I'm taking out from what you guys are putting out is that it's time for me to step away from that and go ahead and take the risk. Am I right? Am I wrong? Because
It's-
no
it's-
pain, no gain. You know.
At no point in time is it not going to be a risk. So,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
that's
Because,
it.
I mean, people be in a relationship. I got a coworker. This man was married for 20 years, got 2 kids, and now he divorced.
20
20 years, and now
See,
he's going
that's
through a
those
divorce.
kind of stories are the stories that scare me.
It's
Like,
scary.
I'm not gonna lie, that
That's
shit
scary.
scares me because it's
Did
like
he stay for the kids? Like,
that's what I'm saying. It's
He
like
kind of waited till they were older,
mm,
like they 17, 18.
bad move. Bad move.
And I
so
wanna,
he knew for so obviously it sounds like he knew for a while that he kind of wanted
He's
to get
been-
out.
Absolutely.
And
He had to.
I was talking to him. He was unhappy for quite a while. Like,
Wow.
and I was like, "Hey, man, like, do this. Talk to her. Tell her that you're not happy with this." He would never do it. See, that's the part with the communication. To
Yeah.
loop back around.
Had they
Communication is very
discussed,
key
they could have
because
seen where they
he's
fell
sitting out
off.
here doing everything that she wants,
Right.
catering to everything. Like, I'd be like, "Hey, man, you want to do this on the weekend?" Nah, I gotta hang out. She wants to do this. There's always she wants to. She wants me. She wants, and then you could tell in his voice like he's in here, like slowly resenting,
Oh yeah,
like her
Absolutely.
presence.
yeah.
Because you're not even able to expose her to your likes because you're so gung ho to do what she wants, and that's just, I guess, what I'm looking for in a relationship is fairness. I mean, that there's no other way for me to really put that, and for me to better explain, this is my fairness. I know people who have this is my fairness. Their mate went through their stuff, whether it was the female going through their man's pockets or it was their man going through their phone. This is what I'm talking about, fairness. I'll never do that. I've had plenty of opportunities to do that, and I'm not doing it.
Yeah.
I would never do that for the fact that I would never want somebody to do that to me. I don't
Right.
give a shit what's in my phone. If I'm
Right.
cheating on you, then you're gonna have to figure out a way to go through my shit to find that out. But going through my stuff, even if I am doing wrong, I'll own that at some point. But to be able to forgive you for going through my personal stuff, I won't be able to do that. Therefore, let's just go ahead and end this relationship. We're going to end it anyway if I'm cheating. But if I'm trying to be slick and hold on to the relationship and keep the side, dude, if you go through my shit and you find that shit out, I'm out the door. Period.
gotta have
I
trust.
still own my shit.
Yeah, it's
I
gotta.
just don't believe that.
I don't think people should be going through people's shit because I think if you have trust, then you just don't. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
like,
right. There's
if,
no need
if
to.
there is something going on, then maybe you'll find out some way, you know, along the way down the through the grapevine or something. But when you're at home and you're just like looking through people's stuff, it's just like, yo, I just don't trust you, and I
Exactly.
don't give a fuck what you think about it. And it's like, damn, okay, like, how did we get here? Like, and how are we gonna move past that? Because then if you
stick
don't find
around,
anything, exactly, if you don't find anything, now I'm like, well, damn, I wasn't doing anything, and you fucking going through my shit. Like, now we gotta have that conversation. Yeah.
so it's problems on top of problems. And then on top of that, if you know you're going to stay, don't go through that person. Please do not go through that person's stuff. If you know for a fact, no matter what, you're going to stay. You want to know why? Because I'm judging you.
Elijah, what were you gonna say?
Well, we got Braulio in the chat. He
What's up, Robbie?
he's commenting
Braulio.
on the subject. He says, "I agree. I stayed away from a relationship altogether until the one I'm in now. I took the leap, and I've grown so much in these years. Like the risk is always there, but you are happy. You're not happy not taking the risk."
Shout out to Braulio for having a good relationship and taking the risk.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Braulio's a good dude. Braulio, what up? It's a good dude.
Braulio,
right
how
there.
long have you been with the missus, sir? I mean, since you've given us some information, some tea.
Or Mr.
He got a good head on his shoulders. He's young. He got a good head on his shoulders, though.
I'm proud of that, though. Shout out for that because
Not me. When I was young, oh my god, I was doing way too much shit. I was everywhere. Braulio, you're nothing like me.
I could have guessed that about you.
Yeah.
We already
Yo.
knew. You should have.
And I see. You know what my problem was too?
I'm tall to you.
I
that
was
the problem.
not really a late bloomer, but a late bloomer. So like in high school, I was like, you know, it was girls that had crushes on me and everything, right? But I was like running around doing a whole bunch of shit. But then once I left high school and then I got like out there when I was like 20, 21, man, they all started coming at me like, yo, and I was just like,
living life.
You
yeah.
know what to do. Say,
I didn't know what to do. I didn't know what to do.
Well, you gotta get out of your system.
Yeah.
So how long did it take for you to sew your oats, honey?
It took a while.
So he's still sewing.
You
Huh?
can't say it like
No,
that.
I'm good now. Like, I just, you know what? It's now really, that shit is just so tiring. Like, I just don't have the time to be running around, even to be carrying on conversations that I don't really want anything with you. I don't, like, why?
Why am I wasting my time? Yeah.
You know what? I saw a tweet the other day that said, "I'm so sick and tired of vibing with somebody for 2 days, and then we just
Thank
go off."
you. That
And that
so
is
I don't
so
do
true.
it.
Like,
Mhm.
you really be feeling like, damn, this person is so cool. Like, I really
Right.
like them, and then come the next day, it's like,
It's just like,
Right.
I was liking you? Oh.
yeah,
Yeah.
you know, it's like it's exhausting. To go
It
through that.
is.
That's the one thing I can say that I love about being married is that I don't have to worry about that no more. Like, that is a really
I'm too old to find somebody.
Yeah, too old, man. Too old to be going through that. I don't.
The era that we all grew up in is completely different than it is now. Like, we didn't come from online dating and social
Right.
media and all that.
Yeah.
Like, you actually had to go somewhere and meet somebody.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yes.
It's like a whole different thing now. I remember I was married for 8 years before my second marriage, and
What?
when so I got married.
You
Yeah,
see how my neck kind of cricked?
Yeah, this is my second marriage. My first marriage, I was married for 8 years, and I got married when I was 19. And
That's too
when
young.
I married, and
You're right,
I was
yeah.
young. You know what I mean? I really felt like I didn't get a chance to experience everything I wanted to experience. But at the same time, you know, like once we decided to part ways and whatever it was, and I was just having fun being single. The dating scene was just scary.
It's
as hell
awful.
for me. I
Trash.
was like,
It's trash.
"Ooh, this
It is
is too much."
It'd be
Was he older
trash.
than you or younger?
He was older than me. Yeah, he was like 6 years older than me.
Did you learn anything from him that
Yeah.
you could carry on in life or maybe in the relationship you have now?
Yeah, I mean, I try my best to not really compare the two at all because they're two completely different men. But
Right, right.
there is a lot of things that I can say that I learned about myself
Mm.
Oh,
that I've
okay.
been able to apply. That I thought I was victimized, like I was the victim, but then I found out I was actually victimizing myself with a lot of the things that happened in our marriage, in my first marriage, and I it took growing up for me to actually
Yep,
realize that,
yep,
you know, and to
mhm.
see that. The problem was that I was just young and I couldn't really, you know what I mean? I didn't know what I was doing.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And
Yep.
so being married 30 plus and getting married again and looking at it from a whole different perspective. Is
Yeah.
like, it's just different. That's why I always encourage people, like, take your time if you need to, because
Yeah.
it's so necessary.
Yeah.
And we've already talked about this before. There's an age difference between my husband and I now, where he's younger, and I don't really feel like the age thing comes up for us very often, but I can see that he needs that extra time to, like, adjust and make choices and things. And I still want him to feel like he's living his life. You know what I mean? I don't want him to feel like marriage is taking away from him.
Right.
So I'm always encouraging him, to do what you want to do, because I'm still going to be here. Like, at the end of the day, I'm fine.
Right.
And
I
so,
love
I mean,
that.
I think that's good. Yeah.
I love that.
That's how it
So
should
the
be.
communication get you to that? I'm sorry, y'all. I'm enamored by that,
keep
because
going.
I aspire to be able one day to sit here and be able to speak freely like Anna. Like, I'm taken aback, and I'm so proud of you.
Thank you.
Like, I'm gonna cry when all this is done. But
You always cry. Stop
I
crying.
know.
I think it's important. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah. Oh, so go ahead. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to.
I was gonna say I think it's important that people understand that you don't lose your individuality once you get married. Like,
Right. You're just adding to it.
well, yeah, you're adding to it.
team.
You become
But
one,
how do you know?
but you're still you at the end of the day, and you can't lose who you are, because that's why the person fell in love with you in the first place, and two, that's how you're going to continue to love yourself and grow as a person anyway. So if you lose yourself, if you're just all either worried about what she thinks, or worried about what people think, or worried about all that, then you're not who you are, and then you won't be able to be happy. And that's the thing. Happiness comes from self, really. Another person can't just make you happy. You have to be happy with who you are. So if you lose that, then how is that relationship gonna last?
Yeah, relying on somebody else to make you happy is setting yourself up for failure.
You can't do that. You can't.
Yeah.
Right. Yep.
I wanted to
At
say
the
something
same time,
about
I want to
that.
say this, though. I do want to say that for everybody listening, anybody that sees this, it is perfectly normal and perfectly okay to communicate your needs. Like,
Yes.
the moment that you feel like you can no longer express to the other person what your goals are, what you expect, what your standards are, that's when you're starting to lose your sense of self. And then what quality of a relationship do you really have at that
Exactly.
point?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And another thing I wanted to kind of pick it back off the point you were making earlier, Anna, where you said you like kind of learned and you grew, is the thing that I've done in my relationships, and maybe I was like kind of ahead of my time, I feel like, not to like toot my own horn, but like every relationship I went through, once it ended, I would like kind of do like a self-reflecting thing where I'm like, all right, what could have I improved on? Like, if I'd done this different, would they have changed something? Like, was I in the wrong on this? Like, maybe I shouldn't have done that. Maybe I shouldn't have said that. Maybe, and like I broke it down, because some relationships, you are the problem. You gotta recognize that, hey, like I was the issue with this. Like, I need to grow up on that side, but also, coming back from the other side of that, you got to realize sometimes it's the other person. It's not your fault. Like, some people are just not for you for whatever reason.
Right. You're absolutely, no matter what changes are made, sometimes you're absolutely right.
Yeah. You can be perfect almost from your end, and the person, if they're not in the same headspace and the mindset, like, it's not going to work. It's not going to work.
And
So
it's when you
it's
force
partially
someone
luck
to
too.
do that.
Yeah.
When it starts going awry.
Y'all saw that viral video on the TL the other day that said the lady, I couldn't get past her dress the first couple times I watched it, but anyway, that's neither here nor there. She said, stop expecting a man to do the things that you want him to do, because the truth is, he will do the things he wants to do for the person he wants to do them for. And that is so big, because I feel like us as women, and maybe even men, you know what I mean, we are constantly trying to expect the other person to be this model, spouse or boyfriend, girlfriend, however you want to call it. And it's like, at the end of the day, you're going to put in the effort that you want for the person that you want. If you're not seeing it, you're constantly beating yourself up about, why am I here? Why am I doing this? It's like, maybe that person is just not for you.
Yeah.
Sadly, you got to learn. They're not for you.
And that's okay, too. Like,
exactly. It's okay.
Understand that you're not for each other. Like, my ex-husband, my baby daddy, he's the father of my first two boys. me and him get along great now as friends. As
Mm-hmm.
spouses, hell
Right.
no. Like, it's just
Right.
not, it's okay to be an adult and say, everybody deserves who's for them. And if it's not for me, let me just go on and give you love lessons and move on. That's it.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yep.
Love that.
True.
I
Love
think that
that.
it takes maturity. It takes maturity
Absolutely.
to be able to, to understand that, because yeah, just when you realize that you're sitting back and you're saying, wow, I wish this person was doing this or doing that, but I'm just gonna wait and see if they'll do this. Like no, like when you are into someone, you like somebody, you're trying to impress them. You're trying to show them why you should be
You should
chosen.
be picking. Right.
Yeah. So if you're not getting that from them, then it's like, yo, they're really not trying to really pick you.
Right.
On the
And I'm
flip
definitely
side,
not
on
going
the
to work
flip
extra
side though,
harder.
on the flip
Go
side of
ahead.
that, don't be afraid to like request or ask, hey, like
Sure. Yeah.
I would really like if you did this. Like, I personally enjoy this. I love this. And then if they respond in a positive way, hey,
Right.
like
They
But
just
just
see, I
want to
think that
communicate that. But
yeah,
if they
yeah, I was just
negative,
about to say that. It goes all the way back around to communication, that you shouldn't be
Absolutely.
afraid ever to communicate. So, and I'm big into once when me and my ex were like dissolving, I was trying to, dig deeper into things and all kind of shit. So that's when I found out about like the love languages. And I think it's so important because I feel like you have to discuss what makes you happy,
absolutely.
and
Absolutely.
then that person should pick up on it and then want to give you that, because you're doing the same in return. So if I want to give you what makes you happy and you give me what makes me happy, we're both just pouring into each other. It's never a thing where I have to think about myself because I
Right.
know you got me. You don't have to think about yourself because I got you.
Right.
So it just kind of flows together.
Has
So
everybody here done their love languages test?
no, I don't
I
even
know
know
mine.
nothing about that.
Oh,
Oh my
you should
God.
definitely read
I'm gonna
that.
send you the link. You have to
Send
do
me
it
that
because
too.
it
Oh,
really
yeah.
helps you. It really helps you communicate to the other person. How do
Yes.
you like to receive love?
Yes.
Oh,
You know what
wow.
I
Yeah,
mean?
please send me that.
Yeah,
Please.
because when my husband and I first got together, it was really hard for me to get through to him on a lot of things because
Mm-hmm.
we communicate so differently and we show love differently.
Yep.
He's a very quiet, reserved person,
Yep.
whereas I'm loud and out there and crazy, and so it's like I would walk in the house and he would just be sitting there quiet, and I'm like, "What's wrong with you?" Like,
Yeah.
why
Yo,
you wanna talk to
yo.
me? You know,
Like,
Yo.
I'm literally so like happy. I'm just sitting here. I'm like, "You don't look happy." Like,
Oh.
I'm fine. He's like, I'm good. Like, I'm just sitting here. We did his love language test, and his love language that scored the highest was quality time. It's not that we have to actually be talking about anything
Right.
or doing anything in particular, but as long as we are there spending quality time
Mhm.
together,
oh, wow.
his part is full.
Mhm.
Whereas
Good.
Take this.
my love language is physical touch, and it doesn't just mean sexual. It can
Right,
be
right.
anything.
Hug.
Yeah, so once we learn that about each other, like he knows if he needs to sit by me, he'll like touch my shoulder.
Yup.
Wow.
And yeah, and then I'll know that if we're in the same place doing our own thing, minding our own business, but we're there together, he's happy too.
Exactly.
So
Yep.
it's very necessary.
It's very important to me for a successful relationship. I think that you have to tap into that. Both people have to tap into their love languages and be able to express what they are. And mine is words of affirmation. So
I love that.
yeah, that's mine. And so with me and my ex, I was always, and this is what we do too. Whatever your love language is, originally what you try to do is
Give
show
it.
love in that way because that's how you love. So it's like
You
I
are
would
speaking to
always.
me right now. Oh my God.
I would
Like,
always give her compliments and things like that, thinking, I would love to receive compliments. That's what makes me feel
Right.
happy. So when I'm giving her compliments and she's just kind of brushing it off, I'm like, all right. But her love language is actually gifts. You know what I'm saying? Acts of service. So it's like if I'm not doing something for her, she would really want me to be thoughtful of her and grab her something on the way home, and then she just feel
wow.
amazing.
That's my
But I didn't know that. I couldn't understand that. So it's just you're hitting a wall. So you got to understand that. It's so important.
Yep.
I feel like mine's is touch.
Yeah.
My current situation, I call it complicated because we're in different states, and I know that we both care for each other, but have we had that actual conversation? No. So when he comes out here, instead of me doing it over the phone, my goal is to do it face to face. But
Yeah, that'd be great.
Definitely.
what got him to come out here was for the past few months, every time we would talk, I would be very ugly with him. It's an attitude. The attitude is because I'm frustrated. Yeah, I talk to you every day, but you don't understand. We're in two different states. I want to hug you. I want to
Right.
kiss you.
Right.
I
Right.
want to argue with you in your face. You
Yeah.
know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Yep.
I need to do those things. And if you're not here, my biggest thing, my biggest want, my biggest crave is attention because you're not here.
Right.
So one day
I'll say how you do it.
we were going back and forth, and I finally, the gloves came off. I finally came through. I said, I talk to you the way I do. I treat you the way I do because you're not fucking here. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
I haven't seen you since July of last year.
Oh no.
Please don't act like I won't hop on a plane and come out there to you. Why haven't I? Because I was waiting. I'm being honest. I was waiting for him to make that move on his own to come out
Right.
and see about me. I did not want to have to drop hints or anything. I wanted for him in his mind to sit back one day and be like, damn, I ain't seen my baby since July of 2020. We in 2021. Let
Mm-hmm.
me make shit shake. So although he did not do that, when we had the storm out here in Texas, he looked out for me and my dad. My dad stays with me. He sent us a care package. He didn't have
Love that.
but he did. If I hit him up, hey, I'm hungry, I don't want to buy lunch today, can you look out for me? He's gonna do that. I appreciate that, but what I want, what I crave, what I need in order for me to know that yes, I want to move forward, I need to have you fight to come and see me as I would fight to go and see you.
Right.
So when I finally told him that, and he bought that ticket, in the mix of us kind of sort of going at it, I didn't know until the whole fight was done and he sent me the information. I replied to him and I said, thank you. I said, you don't know how happy I am because this is all I wanted. And I promise you guys, ever since then, I haven't given him no shit.
Oh, I
He
bet.
hit me up
I'm
he
sure
hit
you
me up
got
the
it.
other day and he told me, I really appreciate your energy. Nobody has never told me that in my life. So when he told me that, I knew that it sunk in that he realized, okay, all she needs is really at least once every other month or whatever the case may be for us to be able to physically see one another in order for this to grow.
Yeah.
And it sounds like his language will be acts of service. That's what he does show this stuff.
You broke up, Anna.
Yeah. A little
Oh,
bit.
You're lagging a little bit.
Ooh, I need her because I know she's telling me something good. Either way, I want to do that love language test.
Still kind of breaking up.
But while she's getting her camera situated, I want to break down like two things that you said in your story that
Okay.
like kind of people in relationships and even in my own relationship nowadays I still have issues with, like fight back and forth. One, everybody wants their partner, spouse, whatever you want to call them, to like know their love language and automatically do what you want them to do for you. Like you don't want to be like, hey, like can you do this for me? Like
Right.
Right.
kind of
That's how
final
I
goal.
feel. I don't want to tell you.
Yeah, you want them to like, hey, and then two, the second point you asked, once like you saw that that wasn't being reciprocated or didn't happen on its own, you asked. Like that's the communication part. So I just like that's something that I struggle with because I'm like I'm being like very open right now, but like sometimes shit, I want to have sex, damn. But like we got a
Right.
kid, like she's not always in the mood for whatever reason or another, and I'm like, why isn't this happening now? She knows it's been like a couple weeks or whatever, you know, like. But we got a kid, you know. Life is stressful, and I'm like, I'm just sitting back and like why is it not happening by itself? Why is it not happening? But then I'm like, wait a second, like she's going through a lot. Like I in my brain, I'm like breaking it down. Like wait a second, like our life is not the same. Let me talk to her.
True.
Come out. Let me plan something romantic. You know, like,
Oh, that's sweet. I love that.
Yeah.
and then
You know.
it goes.
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
No,
Finish
no,
up.
I'm done. Go ahead.
Okay. You know, and that's oh man, that's so great the way that you approach it like that, and it shows a lot of patience.
Yeah, it does.
But it can't always be that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It has to be because men and women are wired differently. We know that. You know what I'm saying? So men crave sex way more than. Well, I'm not gonna say crave. I'm not gonna say that. I'm not gonna say that. Let me take that back. 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 Not crave. What I want to say is the importance of sex. I think men place it way higher in a relationship than women do. Like for us, it's like it's way up there. Like if we're not doing
like
it,
top 3,
then it's like, okay, what the hell? What are we doing here? so if I think women need to understand that, and then in those situations like that, it's like, yes, I'm very understanding of our life changes and what we got going on, what you got going on, but then I also need you to understand me as a man, as a person who I am, that it's way up here for me. So at some point in time, you're gonna have to say, you know what? I need to stop what I'm doing at this time or this time, and boom, I'm just going to jump on them, or I'm going to do this.
That is so key.
So can I ask you a question? So say it's one of those moments where maybe she's tired, or it's been a couple of days or a week. Instead of having a full-on intercourse, would you give oral sex?
See, me, I'm with that.
I'm just trying to understand how to balance that.
Yeah, me, I'm with that.
Yeah.
We don't need to have a full-blown out sex. If it's getting to a week and a half, then that's just too long. We need to do something. You know what I'm saying? So if you just come in and we just do
some
the
kind
oral,
of sexual activity,
we got to.
And
because I still want to feel wanted also. You know what I'm saying? Because I start feeling like you don't even want me. Like, why are you not trying to get it?
Or you at least you're trying to like make me happy. Like that's
right.
That's the thing. Like you know, like I know probably like you tired. Like you've been doing whatever all day, but like at the end of the day, you're sacrificing your time, your energy to make me happy. And then like for dudes, like shit, give us we be good for a week. Like we ain't gonna bother you. Like
good old head and let him hit it from the back, and you got 3 days straight, huh?
Right, like shit. Like I'm out here doing dishes. I'm in the kitchen. Hey baby, how you doing? I'm cooking. When you get home, like you want your man to do shit. Right. Like you want your man to do shit. Take care of him, and then you go see like this.
We'll see the change,
like immediately.
Absolutely, right? Like, come on.
Like
yeah, with us, like if it's been a few days, we really do not care what we got going on. We're so busy, of course, with the kids. We both, have our he does football, I have work, whatever. It's like it's hard to create a good schedule that works for us. But when it's been a few days or even like a week and we ain't touched each other, I promise you, it's happening. I don't give a damn what we have to do. I got PTO hours.
Hey,
you can miss football. You can miss training.
Right.
But we fuck it. Like that's
right.
Yeah.
It's important.
It's important.
It's important. So do you guys plan sex when you're married?
To be honest with you, sometimes we do because
you have to sometimes.
I think you have to sometimes.
Yeah, like we both will agree. Like, look, Sunday. You ain't doing shit, neither am I. Like
we gotta take care of it.
Going down, yeah, because you need it. You need it. Like you're so busy. Like you need that release.
Yes.
And also, you need to also feel close to your spouse or feel close to your significant other. You have to have that. Otherwise, you're just existing, and it's like
exactly.
Yeah, like are we roommates now?
Like roommates. Yeah, when you start feeling like roommates, it's just like what are we doing? Like I could
I could live by myself.
I was just about to say that I could do all this shit by myself. Like I choose to do it with you.
Pumping gas and taking the trash out,
right?
Oh Lord, not this again.
I told you guys when he married me, that was him agreeing to pump gas and take trash out for the rest of his life.
We're not going to go there with you tonight. Not tonight. We're not going there.
We all understand our roles. I suck you this, you take out the trash.
Okay.
That's a happy trade-off.
Hey, if y'all got
that right now, did you say that right now?
That's a happy trade-off.
I sure did. If you want a cream pie, you better take the pie
out. Okay. Hey, who are we to judge? If y'all happy, y'all are happy. That's
my thing too. Yeah, like everybody's situation, you got to do what's best for you and what makes you happy, and really just drown out everything around. Like you have to.
Because there's some person that's more than likely single that'll be telling you doing it all wrong.
Oh, please say that.
They love to tell you about your own shit.
And secretly want your person too.
Ooh, we ain't even going there tonight. Next show.
Next show, Adam. We got that
That's
coming
exactly
up.
why I'm gonna one point really quick. That's exactly why I do not share my sexual business with my girls.
Oh
You're not
yeah.
supposed to.
Yeah.
No,
Not
but
supposed
I
to.
will say that in my previous marriage, I did. I told my sisters like, "Ooh, he's so this," and I told my friends like, "Ooh, he's so this," and then it's like, "Oh, so I thought you said he was this." You know what I mean? And it's like,
Why you not with him no more? Type shit. You know?
right? Or like even venting to people in regards to your significant other.
Yeah.
Don't do it.
If you gonna stay,
Don't do it. Yeah.
Don't do
shut
it.
your mouth.
Yeah.
I've heard that you're not supposed to do that when you're married because say you and your spouse get
Dating.
angry with one another, you already planted the seed in
Yep.
your family's mind of
Yes.
the bad versus everything. So whose side are they going to choose?
always gonna-
Obviously
exactly.
yours, because all they know is that this motherfucker cusses you out on a daily
Right.
basis. They
Right.
don't know that outside of cussing your motherfucking ass out, they pay bills, they making sure you have one day a week to yourself. They don't know that.
He perfect,
because
but
they're so
1%.
consistent with talking about what makes you mad instead of talking about what makes you both happy and what's kept you there. So yeah, I agree with that, and I strongly agree with that.
Yeah, I'll admit that I made that mistake. Like I told you guys earlier, there was a lot of things that I realized that I did wrong. And I
Right,
did
exactly.
in my marriage
Just
that
growing.
I won't do again.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you know, like my whole entire life was spent venting to my sisters. I have 7 sisters, so it's like, yeah. So my whole entire life was just, you know, based around being closest to my sisters, venting to them when I had problems, and wanting to get their feedback. And I made that mistake with my first marriage many times. And at the end of the day, you know, we'd argue about it and he'd say, "Why are you telling our business?" I'm like, "It's my sisters. What do you mean?"
Right.
They always have
Right.
my best interest at heart. But the truth is, they do have my best interest at heart. But the truth is, at the end of the day, I'm going to go walking right back into that house. and
Exactly.
they're
Right,
still gonna
right.
live that
They're
way.
not.
Yep.
Right. And so learn that. And that's why we have both decided in our marriage that we don't tell anybody anything. If we need to vent, we need to be venting to each other. The moment that I feel like I can't vent to you anymore, we have nothing else to do here.
Yeah. And I will say it is easy sometimes to feel alone when you're in a marriage.
Yeah.
You're going through some shit. Sometimes it's easy to feel alone, but like you said, you have to be able to vent to your person. And then that just means y'all have to have some kind of healthy communication to get past it, which is a good thing. So
Going
venting
back to the subject.
is supposed to be a good thing. Yeah, it all circles back to, isn't it funny? Everything circles back to communication. We got these mouths for a reason.
Communication is key. You cannot unlock a door without a key. Am I right or am I wrong?
Exactly.
I mean,
Yep.
you can kick a door
You can bust
down,
that bitch
do
down.
all that ghetto shit, but at the end of the day, you cannot unlock a lock without a key. So
If you gotta force yourself into somewhere though, that's usually the place you don't need to be.
Hey,
Look, 'cause you
okay.
done
because I need to be able to voice my opinion. So now I do need to learn how to monitor my words.
Yep, the lock's changing next time.
I do need to learn how to monitor my words because sometimes in that moment you don't want me to say what's up in that moment. So let me
Take a
ask
walk.
y'all
Take
that.
a walk
Let me ask you
sometimes.
that.
Yeah.
Time to yourself.
How do you pick up a conversation where you know it just wasn't right, but you waited because you wanted to make sure you articulated your point
I
the
do
right
that all the
way?
time. I do it all the time because I'm in my own head like so often. It's ridiculous. Like,
Well, I'm negative. I'm real negative if I'm in that moment and it's not a good. It's not going to be. If it's not going to be a good conversation, I know that I can be negative or I can be harsh, whereas it looks as if I'm hitting below the belt. So
Communicate
how can
that.
pick up that conversation later on, get my point across, and still
communicate that.
Yeah,
Let 'em-
like
let 'em
Elijah
know from the
said,
beginning.
communicate that.
But like, hey, like
Yeah.
I need to step away from this because I'm gonna say some stuff that's not gonna be pretty. We will talk about this later, but I really need to take some time for myself. And you leave the situation for a little bit. Like my wife, she's like that. She'll be like, I don't want to talk right now, and I'm like, okay, like go on and do what you because
Because you know that she might be harsh.
yeah.
in her
You know what
reaction.
we do, Eddie? You know what we do? We, because it's the same situation with us, he is the type to want to talk about things right away.
Me too.
He wants to argue right now and get it over with because he doesn't like it to be weighing heavy on his
Yep.
I think that's a
Whereas
man
for
thing
me,
too.
Yeah.
I need my space. I need my time because I know that if I try to talk to you, everything I'm going to say is going to be disrespectful. Like, it's not gonna be
Right.
good. So what we came up with that works for us is we agreed on 30 minutes away from each other no matter what. You can go outside, you can take a break,
That's a good
you can do
idea.
whatever you want.
And then
But
come
in
back?
30 minutes, we have to meet back and speak about it.
Mm.
Oh, I love that.
Good.
So would you get mad if I borrowed that in my room?
No.
Please.
No, because that's
Right.
perfect.
You take everything you learn
I
here.
mean,
you're supposed to take.
it's not neglecting the
There's
conversation.
no copyrights.
It's taking time to gather yourself to
30
have that
minutes
conversation.
TM.
Right, and
Am I
it's
right?
holding yourself accountable to actually like have that conversation too.
Okay.
Because a lot of times, what I wanted to do was, no, we'll talk about it later, and then we don't talk about it.
And then
right?
don't
like,
talk.
Whatever, you know.
Right.
But it's
That
really,
builds.
you're holding each other. Yes, you're holding each other accountable to make sure that you're dealing with every single thing that comes up. Because you guys have all heard the saying, "Don't go to bed mad." That is a real thing.
I live by
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
I live
You
by
wake
that.
up pissed off. You mad next
Mhm.
Tuesday. You mad
Mhm.
next March.
Yep.
You just
Yep.
mad. Like,
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So that's completely understandable. I
yeah, you
love
just
that.
both commit to coming back in 30 minutes or an hour, however long you feel like is necessary for your relationship. Like I said before, everybody's different. But for us, 30 minutes. We ask each other for the 30 minutes. We step away from each other. Don't talk to me. Don't text me. Don't say nothing. When I come back, I can't guarantee you that I'll be 100% over it, but I can guarantee you that I will come back.
Mhm.
And that you will have the conversation.
Right, exactly.
That's
See,
dope. That's
and I'm
dope.
kind of.
So at the end of the day, you never negate the fact that we need to talk. Is
Right,
that
and it gets handled on a time frame that works for both parties.
and would that roll the same for you, Elijah?
Well, see, that's for my wife. She needs that time and space sometimes. For me personally, I'm in my own head thinking about it. So first, I will analyze the situation. I'm like, all right, are my feelings right now like warranted? Because sometimes you'll get mad for some shit, and then you like think about it and look back and like, I really got mad about that. Like, really, Elijah, what are you doing? So,
What is your sign?
Me, I'm a
Aquarius.
Sagittarius.
Oh no,
Aquarius.
Aquarius.
Yes. I'm
Okay,
Aquarius.
keep going with your story. Sorry, I just needed.
All right. You tell me if I match my sign.
Well,
So,
I agree that you are an Aquarius when you said earlier. Sometimes I just want to have sex. That's an Aquarius thing. Y'all some freaks. Okay, keep going.
but I'll analyze in my brain. I'm like, all right, like were those feelings valid? Like, and I'll still bring it up later. Like, hey, like I was feeling kind of upset about that. She's like, you should have told me. I was like, no, because like I don't want to like come to you like maybe attacking or like we gotta have this discussion now over some
Right.
petty something.
Yeah.
Like the feelings are valid, but they were unwarranted, if that makes sense. So then I'll come to her and be like, all right, babe, like this is what I'm feeling, and I'll always like try to make sure I don't come argumentative, because that's
Right.
the fastest way to shut down a woman, like in general.
Oh,
Like if you come at her like
Nah,
you
tell
need
us
to be
to
doing
calm
this
down.
better.
Tell us to calm down
Oh,
or
yeah,
relax.
tell me to relax.
Yeah,
Please do that.
Oh man.
You
how to
will
nuke
see
a
World
conversation
War III.
one-on-one.
Yeah, them's is fighting words.
Yeah, you will see
Relax.
World
That's
War
fighting
III.
words.
Big time.
A
Don't
funny
tell.
thing happened today, you guys. A funny thing happened today. I really was like, oh my god, my husband really knows me. He listens to what I say. I was at work and we were texting about my niece is getting married this weekend, and so we were texting because he's supposed to have a game out of state, but he's gonna miss the game to come to the wedding. And so he texted me, and I had said to him, if you want to go to the game, then go, is what I said, right? And he,
It sounded like an attitude.
but I genuinely meant that, though. I always want him to do what he wants to do. I don't want him to do what he thinks I want him to do, right? Like, that's not
That's
what I
big.
want.
That's
Because
big.
if you going with me because you think that I want you to go, then you're not going to enjoy yourself anyway.
Exactly.
Right.
Myself, you know? So anyway, I said, if you want to go, just go. And he said, let me read this to you guys. He said, hold on, let me just pull it up really quick, 3 seconds. Okay, he said, actually, I'm just going to go because I want to go, because I know even though you say you're okay, you're not really okay.
Because he knows you.
You gotta know.
Yeah.
You gotta know.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my God, that's true. And I had to actually think about that for a second. it's not very fair for me to talk to him in that way, you know, because it's like I'm putting all the burden on him to make the decision, and it's not fair. So I really had to like pull myself back and be like, you know what? Tell him what you want, and then tell him that he's free to choose, so that he understands that there's no animosity, there's no attitude behind it. You really want the best for each party, right? So that was like a learning moment for me. It's crazy how
You still
the
learning.
most simple conversations you can learn so much and like apply it in your
Yeah.
relationship.
I'm definitely gonna be calling. Excuse me, Anna. Yeah, I'll be calling you weekly. Thanks.
Yeah, I hear a lot of maturity in your relationship.
Yes,
Which is really, really good. Because that's what it takes. That's what it
Communication.
takes.
So who's turning 40 this year?
For real. I hear a lot of maturity.
I'm really taking and receiving everything that you guys are telling me, because I just want to say this before we wrap up, because I really want to be openly honest. The guy that is coming, I genuinely care about him. I know that. I know that. I'm not in love with him, but I love him. And I'm right now at a point where I really don't want to mess this up, because he is really patient with the attitude that I have.
Girl, you better keep him.
He could have been.
That's
He could have
another
been
subject.
done. He could have been done. I went to see him last year in July. He could have been done in August. That's how bad I know that my attitude is, because I don't have a lot of experience in relationships. But when I tell you that this motherfucker, I'm sorry, 'cause baby, look, when I say that he really is displaying patience with me, this is what he do. When I get to acting a fucking fool, the motherfucker won't talk to me for like a week. That's my punishment. But I'm okay with that. Because
Worse
when
for
I
y'all,
finally
worse.
figured out why he did that, he told me. He was like, sometimes you really trip so much. I'm not breaking up with you, but I need to really step back, because I'll really talk reckless to you. That alone, even though I know sometimes I really need to be cussed out, just being in that moment of me already being mad and him defending himself and being mad, well, he's just gonna be a bunch of motherfuck you, bitch, fuck you, nigga type shit. The fact that he knows that and he says, you know what, fuck her for a week, and then comes back in and it'd be real cool, is satisfying to me. It's okay with me. I'm okay with that. I need that, because who wants somebody dead on their ass every day that you can't even breathe, because this girl can't shut up. She can't stop like attacking me, outside of the fact that I'm missing him, and that's just me pouring out my anger. But the fact that he recognized, outside of that, I really am a good person to him, he needs to chill.
See,
And I'm okay with that.
and that's why I think you are ready for a relationship. You're like asking for advice and all this, but I think you are ready because you at least acknowledge your own shortcomings
that
and
is-
problems.
that's
That is
huge.
huge. Like huge, because so many people won't. Like they'll blame the other person all day, like men are trash, women are trash, like it's going off. Like you gotta know your shortcomings, your problems.
Yes.
Absolutely, that is so huge. Can we just say that again? You got to know your shortcomings.
You gotta
Yes.
We
Yes.
all say it as a team. We gotta know our
You
shit.
gotta know your own shortcomings,
You have to know
people.
our
You gotta know.
Yeah.
Oh my
Gotta know.
God.
And wait. And you gotta be willing to work on them. Because to know them is one thing.
Hey,
You got to be willing to
go
work
ahead.
on them.
Absolutely.
Yes.
And that's why I'm telling you, I have not, ever since he bought that ticket, and this was last month, I'm telling you, he does not get no fight out of me. He was having a bad day like 2 weeks ago, like a real bad day. And all I was doing was just checking up on him. And he kind of snapped at me. I could have in return been ugly with him, but all I said was, I really hope you have a nice day. That's all I said. 2 hours later, he's apologized. I'm sorry that I came at you like that. I'm really having a bad day. I lost money, this, that, and the third. And all I did was respond to him. I know sometimes we all have bad days. It's cool. You still my boo. You know what I'm saying? Before,
That's big.
Before you snap at me, you want to go, bitch, we can go. You know what I'm saying? But not no more, because I'm finally realizing I really do care about this person, and I'm so anxious to see the story play out.
Yeah.
That's what
Yep.
it's all about.
That's just, I'm so anxious. I definitely don't want to rush anything. So I need y'all
Right.
help on that too.
I
But
can't.
I'm
I can't help you
very
there. I got married
anxious
within
to
6 months,
see.
so
Man.
I see. I'm a little bit of a rusher too, and
I
that's
can't.
what
I
Well,
I'm
can't.
Elijah's
trying to
like, go
work.
on and give it 7 months. You be all right. You be all
I'm
right.
trying to work on that too, of being a rusher, but it's just like once you start kind of feeling something, it's like okay, well, you start trying to like play
Because I
out
want
what
to
could
lock it
possibly
down. I
happen,
want it to be
and
mine. I don't want
yeah,
my to
When
right,
they
share with
right, they
nobody.
right. When
None
they
of that
right, they
shit.
right.
yeah,
It's
I
no
yeah.
mean,
But once you
time.
a
start
It's
lot
no
of
feeling it, it's
time.
times,
like
like a lot of times when you're feeling it, it don't even feel like it's being rushed. It just feels like it's good
It's
timing.
natural.
right,
Oh
yeah,
my God, you are talking to my soul
It's
because
natural.
Yes.
physically I feel that way, but mentally, just as a person and my flesh is weak, I feel like that's what I'm doing. But my heart is telling me you really are pacing yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Genuinely, you're really pacing yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And a
And I'm
lot
Nobody
of that
feels like
waiting
frustrated.
shit is you being afraid to like take that like final step and leap into like
yeah.
being completely vulnerable. That like honestly,
Right.
like that is
yeah,
a lot of
yeah.
it.
Or
That's why I want
That's
to
a
have
lot
You're
of
not
it,
ready.
patience
right?
when he
You're
comes.
not ready
or
for
I
you
want
whatever
to
se-
look
or
reason.
him
you
in his
second guessing
eyes
that
and say,
person.
Yeah, that too, Anna. Like you might be
Yeah.
second guessing it for
Right.
whatever,
Second
but
guessing.
right. So that's what
But I
I'm
wonder if
saying. That's
that's just
why.
like some insecurity setting in. Are you really second guessing, or is that more just some of your insecurity? Like, am I really ready, or let me find everything of why it shouldn't,
It's
or why
it,
we shouldn't move forward?
you
Like,
gotta
it's
you gotta
not
analyze that in
that.
your
It's
brain.
not that. It's that I'm a lot like my mom. And when I look at my mom and my dad's relationship and how they were married for 25 years before they divorced, I understand both sides now with me living with my dad and me having chances to speak with my mom. But at the end of the day, how I came up as a kid, my father was the one. I love you. I'm hugging you. You know, the touch. Remember, we had this conversation.
mm-hmm.
That was my father versus my mother. There was no touch. There was no hug. There was no I love you. There was no sat down and have girl time and have conversations. So in my relationships with men, I'm my fucking mom, and I'm in my mind. I don't want to be like her
Yeah,
because I don't want to be strict. I want to tell my man I love him. I want to hug my man. I want to kiss him in the
You've
mouth. I
learned.
want him to slap my hand.
Mm-hmm.
My parents did not do that, but I knew
Mm-hmm.
they loved each other because they were my parents. You understand what I'm saying? But when they divorced, and I'm gonna backtrack on the divorce and the age limits. When my parents divorced, me and my brother were adults. We were out of high school. The same way it will affect you as a kid, it affects you as an adult,
Oh
and
yeah.
that affects because you can't have me live with you both for 18 years, and then once I turn 18, everybody go their separate fucking ways. What the fuck is that shit? You know what I'm
You
saying?
yeah,
still
That's
gotta be
how
a
I
support system.
felt, but it affected my brother more, whereas my brother was in and out of jail. And to this day, it still affects my brother. Will he outright say it? Nah, but do I know that for a fact?
oh, you know it.
It
Absolutely.
definitely
Mm-hmm.
affects it.
So I
Definitely.
don't want to be my mom, how my mom was before the divorce. I don't want to be that in the relationship. I want to be my mom now, whereas my mom now will speak to you, will say I love you, will hug you, will
Yeah,
give you a kiss. I want to be that now in the relationship.
Mm-hmm.
That's what scares me because at times I still fall back into how my mom was,
And
whereas
that's okay.
I'm
That's
telling you
okay.
what to do and I'm not allowing you to make your own decisions.
So
That'll
that's
change in
okay as
time
long as you're recognizing that
right.
and
Mm-hmm.
applying
and
change or
trying to fix it.
recognizing that you need to make a difference, a different choice or whatever.
Right.
You
Yeah.
know, that's really what makes you a good significant other, a good human being, is recognizing within yourself that you need to make a change.
Some
That's it.
changes. Yep.
People make
Mm-hmm.
mistakes every single
Yep.
day. People
All the
make
time.
Every
stupid
day.
ass choices every single day.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a matter of, am I going to stay stagnant? Am I going to sit here and be
Mm-hmm.
complacent? Or am I going to
Right.
make a change in myself? Because not only is it benefiting me as a human being to grow, but it's also helping me in my relationships with everybody around me
Exactly.
to
Yep.
be myself at my best. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's huge. So I really don't think that you should beat yourself up about sometimes I'm like my mom, and you know what, girl, me too, but it's okay. That's okay as long as you're fixing it. I'm
Yeah.
working on that.
You brought up so many good conversation topics too for another podcast, with the unhealthy relationships at home, divorce, like you just went through so many. I was just like, I need to be right taking notes.
We're gonna have to touch on those. We're gonna have to
We'll
touch
do
on
a
those.
part 2 of healthy relationships for the next podcast,
We need
and
to.
then if that spills over, we'll do a part 3, because I definitely want to on the next show. I definitely want to touch on finances in the relationship, be it girlfriend and boyfriend, be it engaged, and be it marriage. When do we join? Do we join accounts, or do we still keep our own and still share if one is short? So definitely the next podcast, we're still doing part 2 of healthy relationships, but we're definitely going to touch on the financial aspect of being in a relationship.
Great. Sounds good to me.
I love this subject. I love it.
Yeah. See y'all. See how y'all helping me out. See, one day I'm gonna be big and strong, and I'm gonna be grown, and I'm having me a whole relationship. Y'all ain't gonna be able to do nothing.
Me too, girl. Me too.
Hey, and the biggest thing is, as long as you're both willing to work at it, like,
Yeah.
because I'm only been married for what, 2 years now, 3 years, and it's still a learning process. Like every day, like I don't think you will ever stop learning.
Absolutely.
The wife
Me
calling
and
me
Elijah
now.
gonna fight after this. I just want y'all to know that, because I got on his behind about that ringtone already. So cut the camera so I can
It's the
punch him.
wife. I gotta answer. Hold on.
It's his wife.
Hello.
I do want to say one thing though. I did see a tweet
about
that
to.
said, "Men, it's okay to quit on a female who's not even trying. You deserve effort too."
Woo.
And I love that, because I
All right.
feel like
Let me
I
call you
really
back.
feel like society makes women and men feel like the man is supposed to put in all the effort to prove that he's worthy of the relationship, and the woman gets to decide if it's gonna be enough or not.
Right.
Not only that, remember the one on the timeline that went around about how women don't spoil their men? Oh my God, that went on for like what, 3 days? Was that about 3 days?
Yeah, I saw that.
We can't even get into it right now because this.
That's another
We
subject.
got part 2.
Yeah. Because the whole thing
Just-
that's the whole thing. A lot of the dating of why dating is trash is because as a man, you got to be out here and you got to, like you just said, you got to like constantly prove this and that. It's like, but you're meeting these people and they're not doing anything. It's like,
It's give and take. Give and take.
Here you are proving that you're worthy of a relationship.
Right.
He is barely like, you know.
barely, yeah.
You just gotta be throwing the V at you. That's it. That's
right.
all. Like,
You can't be worthy of a relationship if you're not willing or going to put out what you're expecting that other person to put in.
Right.
If you're expecting him to pay for 5 dates, guess what? You pay for 6.
Right.
You know? It goes hand in hand, but we got
If you
y'all.
gotta hold them to a specific standard, you better hope that you
Or as well meeting that standard too. So
that's
I'm
another
sick of these
subject because
females
I
out
could
here
go off
like,
with that.
oh, you need to do this for me. You gotta buy me this. You gotta do this for me. Like, what do you bring other than pussy to the table?
ooh, girl. Part 2. Yeah.
Let's stop.
We
I don't
definitely
even want to
got
stop
you guys
talking.
for
We
part
rolling
2.
now. Shoot.
Get all the way into that, so let's stop now.
Tune in, leave your comments, let us know, because part 2 is gonna get juicy. Because you know what, Anna, you did that. You know I'm coming. I'm coming tough with that one, right?
Yes,
I want you to
Coming
know
with the
that.
heat for that one.
Yes, ma'am. So we should have a giveaway at the next show. So again, please share. If you're on Twitter, SK5 Podcast, please follow us. You can follow us individually. We're all one happy family. We were down one member, but we love her and we already spoke with her. So
Shout out to Travi.
Travi.
yeah,
She coming back soon.
it's gonna be it's SK5. That's what it is. Our baby is still with us, even though she ain't here.
We have a stand-in though today, right, sis?
And yeah, and she been good too. Yeah, she definitely. You know what? That's our alternate. Whenever one of us is out, we got our alternate. As long as she's fed and held,
She's good.
we're pretty much good.
Right.
So leave your comments. Please follow us. If you want to follow us individually, I'm Fat Pussy Big. That's BIIIH and fat with a PH. Fat Pussy Big, and that's me. Twitter. That's the same.
Adam.
Mine is X Young CEO X on Twitter. You can follow me there. You can follow me on Twitch also, which is also X Young CEO X if you want to see some gaming videos and fun times, horror, and all that kind of stuff on Twitch.
Anna B, aka Sawedi on Twitter, Lavila Baby at LEVILABAYBE. Follow me for your coolest mom jokes, tips, and tricks, and also how to throw that ass back. Thank you.
I ain't see that tweet. We gonna have to review that one next.
But we was ready.
And your boy, the tech savvy Zaddy, at X Elijah F on Twitter or on Facebook and Twitch Gaming at BibleMan251. We appreciate all you guys from stopping through. Braulio, D'Artagnan, we appreciate all the comments in Twitch also. I hope y'all tune back into the next episode for sure. We got a lot more of this coming.
We got part 2.
Hey, Braulio, this one is going to stay up here too.
Yeah, so
Elijah, you did fix that, right? Where it's going to stay up?
Yes.
And,
Word.
even leave little comments on our Twitter page. Let us know what you think. We'll still read your comments at the next show. Also, if you want to put in your little 2 cents as well, we will definitely take that and apply it. But thank you guys very much for joining us.
Appreciate everybody out there.
Right back. We will see you next week.
Peace.
Bye.